So I'm doing music, and then I start to, as I'm reading the Bible, I start having a desire to teach the Bible, and so with teaching the Bible, you gotta have an audience. So I had small cousins, my cousin Catherine, my cousin Jeremy, my cousin Sophia. They were all pretty small at the time, and they're all willing to jump in my car and head off to youth group, and so I started picking them up every single week, and sitting them down and just sharing what God, what I was learning. I started to share it with them, and they started enjoying it, and I tried to apply it to their young minds as much as I could, and I was still rough around the edges, so I was also learning, and so they were learning, I was learning, and I was also learning how to teach people and care about others. So as you know, as I'm teaching and being with my family each and every week, I'll never forget the day that I get the phone call, and it's kind of like time stopped. And I remember it was my aunt calling me to let me know that my cousin Sophia had died, had gotten in a horrible accident, and she was dead. And I didn't really know what to say. I mean, it was just like everything stops and you're kind of numb. I just hang up the phone and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, this is like one of my kids. I pick her up every week and we go to Bible study. I take her to church. We drive through Jack in the Box all the time, and we're eating those Jack in the Box tacos all the time with the little hot sauce. And I'll never do that again. She's so young. And having to cope with the loss of someone so close to you, it changes you. It gives you a reality of life and death. It gives you an appreciation for family. It gives you, it reminds you of that our time here on earth is short. And so we need to make sure that our minutes matter, and that we spend time with our family, we spend time with our loved ones, because one moment they might be here, one moment they might be gone. And so we don't ever want to be in that place where we didn't get to say bye to them or anything like that. And so that's how I was feeling that day.
Crazy, man. And I remember like it was yesterday, bro. Like I got the call and I answered that call, and I was like, I didn't know what was going on, but I just, my aunt and Sylvia called, and she goes, "Hey, let me like put your mom on the phone." And I go, "Okay." It didn't sound good. And I remember just my mom just saying her name, bro. She screamed her name, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like I knew she was gone.
Yeah. It was like.
I want to give people an idea of who she was, to you, and then also to, our family, because I feel like, again, I don't think our family ever recovered.
Yeah, my cousin Sophia, she was like the spark in the room. She had a great personality. She was funny. She was fun. She was kind of like, she had a way about her that just kind of brought a smile to your face. And so to lose someone like that and so young, and when you're not ready for it, it's just like a punch to the gut. It's like my uncle and my aunt now, they don't have their daughter anymore, and so it's a hard time for everyone. It's a hard time for our family. You don't want to bring it up. You don't want to keep talking about it a bunch. You want to allow them to heal, but then that the pain will always be there. And that's how loss is. The person is gone, so you have to find a new way to live when you lose a loved one. There's no other way around it. You have to find kind of a new path there, and so the bad news is that it's hard, it's painful, but the good news is that there's a tremendous amount of growth that takes place. And if you allow the pain to do its work on you, you'll find yourself even reaching out to more family and becoming more compassionate toward the ones that are around you.
Talk about a funny story that you have about her, that something that I could tell someone about, and they're just like, wow. Because I mean, there's so many stories I've heard about that girl. And what is a story though that you remember about her that you just think about, makes you laugh? You know, something that's gonna make our family just like, wow, I remember something that she would do, you know, or something.
Yeah, my cousin Sophia was a very funny person because I would pick her up, and we'd be like driving down the road, and she's like, "Man, I'm really hungry. You know, I need some Jack in the Box tacos, Bob." And I'm like, well, you know, she goes, "You got any change in your ashtray?" And she's like digging in my ashtray. She goes, "You do have change in your ashtray." She goes, like, "Look it, I got one, two, dude, we got like 4 tacos right here. Come on, let's go, man." And I'm like, "No," I go, "Come on, man, we don't need tacos." She goes, "Yeah, we need tacos, Bob. We need them now." And she would like have a way to like convince me to drive into the Jack in the Box tacos, man. And so, you know, drive through to get the tacos, and I get them, and then you have to have the sauce, man. It's like the taco ain't the taco without the sauce. She's like, "No, you got to put the sauce on it, man." And I was like, "All right, I'll put the sauce on it." But you know, the cool thing now is that whenever I eat those tacos, which I still do, you know, and I put that little sauce on, man, I just like, I take it from my cousin, I crunch into it, I'm like, this is for my cousin that I love so much and I miss, you know. And so that's a good memory for me. You know, that's my memory of my cousin.
Yeah, man, she was so convincing, man. Like, I remember this time I stayed the night over at grandma's, and she goes, I'm gonna break out of here. And I go, wait, what? Like, we're like, dude, she had to be, well, she's like same age as me. She's only a couple weeks older than I am. So yeah, she's like, "I gotta break out of here, man. You gotta help me. You gotta do this." And I'm like, wait a second, I'm not gonna help you. Like, what are you talking about? Like, she's like, "Oh, some dude's gonna pick me up. We're gonna go to a club or something." And I'm like, "Sophia, just stay home. Like, I'm here. Like, let's just hang out." No, help me through the window. Next thing you know, dude, I'm like part of the plan. I'm like, I'm helping her get out the window. She's like, "All right, help me get out of the fence." So you're helping her over the fence. "Hey, when I come back, make sure that you open the door. Make sure you're awake." I'm like, "Bro, I'm not gonna stay up all night waiting for you to come back." And she'd always figure out, like, it's just like all of a sudden you're in the whole plan, you know. Like, it's so crazy how convincing she was, you know. And it's like,
she's very mischievous in that.
Yeah, and you feel like bad. Like, she made you feel like, not in a mean way, but she made you feel like you have to, like, you have to help me. Like, there's no other way around it. Like, you're gonna help me.
Yeah, or I'm gonna be an accessory. Yeah, I'm gonna be an accessory to this.
Yeah. And then you just felt bad. You just felt bad if you didn't help her. Like, it's just a weird thing. But yeah,